Artificial light will make you unhealthy in more ways than you know. Hello everyone, it's Mazen. Welcome to the Maximal Life. Let's face it, being caught up in work all day usually means that we are indoors most of the time. For high-performing leaders, this is particularly true. Surrounded by gadgets of all sorts within our climate-controlled interiors, you and I are constantly exposed to artificial light, when nature actually intended for us humans to be outdoors in the natural light. All the while, our body cells are being stressed and energy levels are getting lowered because of the light exposure patterns that our lifestyles are imposing on us. Today, I want to share with you some insight into the different ways our bodies respond to natural and to artificial light, and how light impacts our biology, health, productivity, and energy levels. Junk light is as bad as junk food for our health. This was a startling discovery for me. And once I started to do some research about this, I realized that light exposure quality impacts us at a fundamental, in fact, at a cellular level. Let me tell you how. Well, first, what's junk light? We can all agree that nature intended us to be far more outdoors than we are today in our daily routines. When outdoors, we are exposed to natural sunlight with its broad spectrum of light wavelengths, the infrared, the rainbow colors, and the ultraviolet. But instead, when we are indoors, what we are exposed to is artificial light that is predominantly the blue wavelength. The light from all these gadget screens we use, the light from the LED and the CFL lightings we work in, all of these fall into the category of junk light. We moved from the regular bulbs and LED lighting in order to save electricity. I do get that. A noble thought. But in the process, we have deteriorated the quality of light, making this junk light as bad for us as junk food. You see, it's not just the eyes, but even the skin requires exposure to natural light to absorb the natural sunlight to improve many bodily functions. Natural sunlight, especially the UVB light, is what helps synthesize and activate vitamin D in our bodies. Just taking vitamin D supplements isn't enough. We still need sun exposure to derive the benefits from it. But rest assured, there are simple ways to counter this junk light exposure. I'll come to those in just a few moments. But before that, you need to know about the impact of artificial light on the all-important circadian rhythm and the connection between light exposure, circadian rhythms, and performance. We all have built-in circadian rhythms that are directed by our own inner 24-hour circadian clock. And natural light plays the most important role in making sure the body clock works as it should. A recent study in psychophysiology determined how various areas of the human performance, such as memory, sensory perception, motor coordination, reaction time, even time estimation, and driving, demonstrate clear circadian variations and rhythmicity. In general, our performance levels improve during the day when natural light is plentiful and decrease at night when the body receives a signal to rest. Now imagine the imbalance when we are exposed to very little natural light and more of the artificial blue light that prolongs the daytime signals to the brain. As a result, our brain delays the winding down process, causing mental exhaustion that has long-term impact on our mental and physical functioning. The body's inner rhythms alter due to lack of sleep, adversely impacting cognitive function and the circadian rhythms at the cellular and even molecular levels. Only now are we beginning to understand how many different ways our circadian rhythms affect us, our functioning, and our productivity. So much so that the 2017 Nobel Prize for Physiology and Medicine was awarded to the discoveries of molecular mechanisms controlling the circadian rhythm. It is that important. Physicist Futurist and TV personality Michio Kaku puts it like this: our biological rhythms mirror the symphony of the universe. He's of the view that our circadian rhythms, seasonal and tidal rhythms, are in sync, or ought to be. Life coach Deepak Chopra has similar insight to share about the circadian rhythms. He says, you can get the highest quality of sleep by keeping your sleep cycles in tune with the rhythms of the universe. Even the creator of Dilbert gets it. He says, I manage my day by my circadian rhythms because creativity is such an elusive thing and I could stump over it doing my administrative stuff. My own research into light exposure and light quality is eye-opening. My own findings concur with the collected wisdom of these successful, highly effective people, and my belief that junk light is as bad as junk food. Infrared light, necessary for practically all living beings, is missing from the LED and CFL light sources we usually use. We may not be able to see this infrared light, but our bodies experience it as heat. Then there's the problem of the UV filters, present everywhere, and our sunscreens, sunglasses, window treatments, and on and on and on. Sure, there are good reasons to guard against overexposure to ultraviolet radiation, but this human modification of the light that makes up the sun's spectrum has other negative consequences, which we are only now just beginning to understand. We need some UV exposure for important body functions, most notably the production and activation of vitamin D. Our bodies need the entire spectrum of light to absorb the energy of light, and for our body to understand at a fundamental cellular level that it is daytime, which means it is now time to begin our day active. Sun exposure is related to the production of the feel-good hormone, serotonin, which in turn impacts melatonin, the hormone that governs sleep. And this is how light sources tell our body when it's time to wind down and rest. Those who are exposed to natural daylight find it easier to get to sleep and to sleep restfully. Exposure to electrical lighting seems not to have the same impact on the body and also its rhythms. The problem isn't just that artificial light sources have cut out the important beneficial constituents of the light spectrum, but the problem is also that our blue light exposure is hugely amplified thanks to the artificial light that we see everywhere and all the electronic gadgets that we're surrounded by. According to the American Optometrists Association, computer vision syndrome is a significant problem. It causes eye discomfort, vision problems, headaches, dry eyes, and many other things. As I've shared in previous episodes, there is a reason to cut out junk food from our lives. Equally, there is a serious need to cut down the junk light in our lives. Now, let's get into some practical ways to cut down the exposure of junk artificial light in your life. It is unlikely that any of us can go back to living the life of our ancestors with plenty of natural light exposure, no gadgets emitting blue light, and sleep cycles that coincided with the rising and the setting of the sun. I have, however, made some lifestyle modifications that will help you get more of this healthy light. Here's how you can get started. First things first, incorporate an S-shaped workday into your daily routine. This includes 5 essential motions: sit, stand, stretch, stride, and sip. And try to get some natural light on you while you do this. From time to time, stand up from your desk and go up to the window and stretch a bit. Every few hours, take a break to stride around the block. Skip the sunglasses and the sunblock and roll your sleeves while you're at it to maximize the absorption of natural sunlight. And keep sipping to hydrate yourself. I found that the positive input protein shake packed with green tea works great. It keeps me energized, hydrated, and provides useful antioxidants to counter the ill effects of staring for long hours into a screen. Incorporate these easy motions throughout your day to improve your health and your performance. Here is another thing that you can do. You can tweak your indoor light sources to emit more red and less blue light. Installing a red light on your field of vision works well. Try to switch to halogen lights. At night, turn off all the gadgets and blue light emitting devices at least 60 to 90 minutes before bedtime. You may also want to use anti-glare screens for your computer monitor. Use a blue light blocking app on your phone, or use blue light filtering glasses. Small changes that can add up to provide a lot of long-term benefit for you. To reduce the ill effects of unnatural light on the eyes, apply the 20-20-20 rule to your life. Take a break every 20 minutes to look at an object at least 20 feet away for at least 20 seconds. Give your eyes a break. Looking out at the window is good. Striding out in the sun is even better. A number of phone apps are available now to remind you to stretch or stride at break time. Also, it's important to keep your eyes lubricated. Splash some water in your eyes a few times during the day. Don't allow artificial light to play havoc with your health. Take steps to counter the ill effects of artificial light. It's really not difficult and takes just a few small changes. Consciously adapt the S-shaped workday. Get up and hydrate. It could be a protein shake, some green tea, or other beverage with antioxidant properties. This helps hydrate the body, organs, and tissue. And it also lubricates the eyes, which is important when staring into that monitor for the whole day. When you can, leave your workstation and stretch your legs as you grab a healthy beverage. Make sure you have your shaker bottle right there at your desk. Walk around and stretch those muscles as you sip a protein shake or something else that is hydrating and nourishing. As you make more positive changes in your life, your body will respond by becoming healthier and working more efficiently. Listen to your body, to what it is reporting to you. Understanding and interpreting these reports and then positively acting upon them is the key to good health. Find the willpower and commitment to reinforce these positive changes to step into your maximal self so you can now lead your maximal life. Thank you for joining me today. Your health is in your hands. You get to decide whether you want to live your days under the artificial lights or stride out in the nourishing sun and fresh air. I hope to see you out there. If you like what you have seen and heard, please subscribe.